These are the X versions of certain golf balls in Taylormade, PXG, Srixon, Callaway, Titleist and Mizuno. What do they do with a driver? I'm going to kick things off with the PXG XTREME Tour X. And yes, when you have a PXG golf ball, you have to say it just like that. So this hole is absolutely perfect for the way that I would like to hit the ball currently. I'm going to go down that left-hand side and just drift it back a little bit. I want to squeeze out a little bit of fade. Not that much. Yeah, that much. There we go, drifting into the fairway. That was maybe a little bit high off the face. I want to get 2 good shots with each golf ball just to give them a fair comparison. And right now I'm trying to get too much fade. I need to hit it down the left and try and leave it down the left and just let it drift back. Now you may have seen the other videos in these where I've had to go with the wedges and I've had to go with the irons. Now we're going to see what the differences are in the drivers. That had the tiniest bit of fade ever, but okay. That had a little bit more, but it's still gone pretty good. Now these are harder golf balls in the X versions. They tend to have harder cores in the middle and thinner outer covers, so that outer cover can interact with your wedges a bit more, so we saw very high spin on the wedges. And generally speaking, I see a little bit more spin on the irons as well, but you'll have to go and look at those videos just to see how much compared to each other you get. Let's have a look at the Mizuno Pro X. Nice, good example of the flight I'm after. I am having to work quite hard to get it, and if a ball spins more than the other golf balls, I'm going to see this ball climb. I'm going to see it resist in the air a bit more. So if there's one that spins lower with the driver, then I'm going to benefit from it, because some of these golf balls, they spin more with a wedge, they spin more with an iron, but some of them just flatten out with a driver, which is a very nice and welcome combination. Oh, is it a draw? That's the one I'm trying to avoid. That can get in the bin. That's more like it, moving it back into the fairway. A little bit of extra. Just going to do one more with that. Up the left, it's got the fade. And then I didn't get enough. Carry seems okay. I'm just going to aim that ever so slightly further right. So I'm still on the left side of the fairway. So if I do hit it straight, then it's on the fairway. That was a horrible strike. Whoops. So that's the thing I'm worried about on them, is that I just overdo it. There we go, good example. Lovely shape, nice and neutral. Tiny bit of fade of anything. Well, that's doing the same sort of thing repeatedly, so that's okay. Let's go with the Titleist Pro V1X. Good solid feeling ball. Just drifting back into the fairway in the same sort of group as the other ones, just at the top end of it. And Titleist is the market leader in golf balls. But there is a lot of choice out there. That was just a little bit more heel struck. So I've got a little bit of excess. That's a better strike. But is that extra shape fair? It's done all right. That's a good example. That's perfect. Bosh. It's gone a couple of extra yards. Okay, so the last shot was okay. I'm going to get a fresh Taylormade out because this one is a bit battered and abused from the wedges. So we get a new one. TP5X. Come off the face nice. I've just overdone the shape. The reason I want this shape is because I overdo the draw, but I'm just doing the opposite miss. So I'm going to stick to this for now in this video, but I might change my mind on the shape later on for my actual game, because I do get it considerably further when I hit a draw. But that is the one that I want. That is delightful. The Taylormade ball does feel really good off the face with every club in the bag. That's the longest shot yet. Ooh. That's not fair. That was thin and heely. Although to be fair, it's the longest thin and heely one. What? No. So I'm still rocking the 10.5 head on the lower loft setting just to keep the face open a bit more. Just to encourage this shape that I'm trying to hit. But I am fighting it a little bit. That is too much side spin. Ah, that is less. There's the shape. That felt very good. There's Taylormade done. In the fairway and up there nicely. Srixon Z Star XV 2025. Oh, it didn't quite fade, did it? What was the side spin on that? Side spin, tiny draw, tiny draw, if not neutral. And he skied it. These ball tests aren't easy. There we go, that definitely faded. I wouldn't say too much, it's in the pack with the other golf balls. Good comparable flight and shape. Did get it a little bit off the heel, so it's lost a little bit. And the main golf ball that I want to see what it does compared to the others is the Callaway XTREME Tour X. Because I did use this golf ball for a little spell last year because that elevated performance with a wedge and an iron was too good to ignore. But then I did find with the driver a little something, but I didn't compare it to other X's. Definitely harder. Oh, that's come off like an absolute rocket. Oosh. It's contending with the Taylormade. Oh, that did have a little bit of draw, but spin rate. Let's see what that is at the end. Oh, we'll try to force the fade. There's the fade, okay. So I had 2,800 spin on the little draw, and then on the little fade, we have 3,100. Oh, that's why I stopped using it. I have to rebuild my driver. I have to use a very different driver setup with this golf ball. But I can't ignore the speed that it gets. I can't ignore the spin that it gets with a wedge and an iron. That's a bit excessive. I was late. Is that fading? It's trying to fade. A little bit of it. Oh, I've skied it. Shape was good. Shape was very good. Go on, last good one. Yeah, nice, okay. That shot. Now I do like that. I just have to work so hard for it. With my mini driver, I basically have that flight without trying. Now I'll try and keep in as many shots as I can, but the numbers look something like this. I do have more shots in some of these golf balls because it just did the same thing like 94, 94, 92, 92. That's the TP5X, but I did have a 307. That did have less fade. We had a little draw in there, so I want to take the draw out. Let's take all the draws out. Oh, both Z Stars just had a tiny bit of draw. The Z Star XV ball might just be a tiny bit different. But we have peak height in the, this one is the PXG, I just forgot to label it. 98 peak height, 104 peak height on the Z Star XV, so just 6 feet higher in the Z Star XV. 104 again in the TP5X. 112 on the Pro V1X, so a little bit higher on the Pro V1X, lower on the TP5X. 105, lower again on the Mizuno. And then we go into the Callaway XTREME Tour X, and we have 99 on average, so that is on the lower side. The two lowest balls are the PXG and the Callaway XTREME Tour X, and the highest balls are the Pro V1X on its own. Angle of descent, we've got 40 degrees Callaway, 41 degrees Mizuno, 42 degrees Pro V1X, and then 41 degrees in the TP5X, and then we come in flatter with the Z Star XV and flatter with the PXG. So they're going to get a little bit more run because they're just coming in a little bit shallower instead of landing steeper. My delivery, let's do that first. My swing speeds were faster with the Callaway, so I had a bit more pace with the Callaway. TP5X only 0.2 slower. Pro V1X 0.2 slower than that, so we're in the same sort of ballpark swing speed with those Callaway, with the Callaway Taylormade and Titleist. They're probably the most important ones anyway. Just a bit slower on the Z Star XV, PXG a little bit faster, a little bit slower on the Mizuno, but my path is in to out on all of them, varying from 2.5 to 0.9. And my angle of attack is down on all of them apart from the Srixon. So the Srixon was level. then I'm half down, 0.7, 0.7, 1.3. So I was more down on the Chrome Tour X in the Callaway. Maybe I subconsciously knew that it had a bit more spin on it, so I hit down on it more to try and keep it down, which is actually the wrong thing to do. Efficiency, 1.44 Callaway Chrome Tour X. I have got more pace coming off of that golf ball relative to my swing speed. I'm the same with the PXG, Srixon and Taylormade. Tiny bit slower on the Titleist, and back to 1.42 on the Mizuno. So that just gives you an idea of my strike and potentially like how much these balls rebound off of that speed. Ball speed's way faster in the Chrome Tour X. I was only 0.2 faster in swing speed, but I got 3.4 miles an hour extra compared to the Taylormade. The Pro V1X holding up pretty strong, and the PXG holding up pretty strong. I'm actually quite impressed with that PXG X ball, the XTREME Tour X. The Mizuno just the same as the Pro V1X, but the highest spinning ball was the Callaway Chrome Tour X. Not surprised, because it does spin higher with every club in the bag. Next best is TP5X. I thought that would be lower, to be honest, but so be it. Lowest spin there, Z Star XV, but I did hit down on that less. I hit level on the golf ball, and I did have a little bit of a different shape on it. So I think that result there is just a little bit inflated because of the shapes that I hit. So potentially that would just creep upwards from this angle if I did get my fade. So I would put it in the same sort of ballpark as the other golf balls. There's nothing really jumping out massively. They're all doing the same sort of things speed-wise. Carry-wise, I've got 284 on the Srixon, but I did treat that differently. PXG doing well. 282, 281 on the Pro V1X and the Chrome Tour. TP5X, I thought that would do more, but okay. So let's just have a quick look at the TP5X because, okay, so that 161 is a little bit poisonous. So that was slower. I think that was misstruck a bit more. It popped up a bit higher. That might have been a little bit high on the face. But what it does to our averages is it moves us up slightly. It moves us up slightly. It doesn't change it an awful lot. So the speed changes from 165.1 to 166.4 over here, and then launch angle 9.5 changes to 10.3 with and without that shot. Spins about the same. Carry 279 to 298. It changes it 1 yard. So all right, that one shot isn't going to change the overall behavior of that golf ball. I was kind of expecting the Callaway and the Taylormade to just separate out a little bit more. I do generally see the TP5X spin lower in fittings and stuff that I do. On that test there, the spin has maintained a bit higher and it's kind of leveled out with the rest of the field. We did see lower spin rates on the iron with it, so potentially it's a bit more stable in the middle of the golf bag. But have you tried the TP5X? Do you notice that it doesn't spin as much with the driver? Do you have any information or opinions that contradict what I've seen there? Let me know in the comments.